What's good, y'all? It's that boy, Easy Millions, and I'm your host of That Boy ETV. You already know, man, we are back on Multiversus. And, man, here we are again with another one of these commentary videos, man. And I'm going to be 100 with y'all straight up front. Lately, Marvel Rivals rank grind has pretty much been taking up all my time. But, I did take out the time because, as always, I really do have a soft spot for Multiversus, as it is the game that started the overall grind for my page from the beginning, back when this game was in beta form. Now, the thing that I wanted to talk about here is going to be Season 5 that's coming up here soon, and the two characters that are most likely to be there are supposed to be Lola Bunny and Aquaman. Now, I want to bring these two up because, I've made this point in previous videos about how I feel they've really dropped the ball when it comes to the characters they decide to release and at the time they decide to release them. Now, again, let's talk about these two characters that they're talking about bringing for Season 5. One being Aquaman, who's probably the more relevant of the two. His movie hasn't been out for a while, and on top of that, they are doing a whole new DC, so the new Aquaman really hasn't done much. Now, I know the first one did come out in 2018, and I'm not really sure when the last one came out, but the second one actually came out in 2023, so it's been about 2 years since the last Aquaman movie, so I don't really see why Aquaman was a choice here. I get it, he is a part of DC, and since the DCU is restarting, I guess you might want to throw in a new superhero. But again, I don't even think Aquaman is one of the first superheroes we're even going to see in the new DC EU. So we'll just have to see how that goes. So again, I just really think that Aquaman is just an odd choice. I know now overall, like if you just had an overall roster, I think he would fit and be fine like as a person on the roster. But as your lead characters for Season 5, I just don't really see Aquaman really getting the job done. And sad to say this too, but the same thing kind of goes for Lola Bunny. Now, Lola Bunny came out with the original Space Jam, so Lola Bunny, I believe, is probably a little bit more special to people in my age group opposed to the younger kids or the younger crowd. Now, from what I have seen from flipping through TV, when you do go to the Looney Tunes now, they do actually have Lola Bunny regularly on Looney Tunes, so maybe she is more popular with the younger crowd than I am giving the credit for. But again, is there really a big Looney Tunes project coming out anytime soon in which Lola Bunny is one of the main characters or the main character of the project? Is that a thing that's happening? Because again, it's like when you bring in these DLC characters, you want to bring in characters that are going to garner excitement, garner people to want to log on and play. That's the whole purpose of creating these characters, man. So, since they don't want to really do anything about it, I think I have a couple ideas here, so just kind of roll with me here. So, obviously, the first characters that they really should have thought about bringing in would have been Game of Thrones, as we did have House of Dragon not that long ago, and of course we do have the original series. And not only that, there's literally only Arya Stark in the game that represents Game of Thrones. It's kind of weird due to the fact that the game's been out for as long as it has. And again, instead of Aquaman or Lola Bunny, you could have gave us Jon Snow, or you could have gave us Daemon from House of Dragon. And either of these two would have been, I think, good additions to the game. And both of them would have been able to bring back, especially Daemon from House of Dragon, as that was more recent. But again, these characters would have brought in more people to the game with it being relevant. It's in people's minds at the time. Like, nobody's really thinking about Aquaman. I don't think no one's really thinking about Lola Bunny like that. So with this right here go two characters from Game of Thrones that would have definitely been better choices than the two that you have. One from a more recent and relevant Game of Thrones property, with that being House of Dragon, and then you got Jon Snow, who's from the same property as Arya. But again, we just want to make sure that we're also adding more Game of Thrones representation, because it's pretty sad of how big the property is and how very little representation we ultimately got in the game, man. Now, another show that's recent that I want to talk about is going to be that of the Harley Quinn animated series, which recently started, I believe, like 2 weeks ago. So you could have brought in any of the characters from this TV show, and for me to go ahead and give you two characters to replace Lola and Aquaman, I would say from this animated show, you would have probably Poison Ivy and Bane. These would be two very, very good choices, as these characters are very prominent in the show. I think the Bane version in this show is very funny and would be very amusing to see him in the game. And also, this version of Poison Ivy is nice as well and would fit perfectly, I believe, in Multiversus as the aesthetic. And once again, this is a TV show that recently just came out. I believe it just came out in season 5, so this is a show that people are watching. So again, if you would have added these characters, you would have been able to bring in anyone watching the show. But for some odd reason, we want to bring in Aquaman and Lola Bunny, except for people with shows who just recently came out. And speaking of another show that recently came out, there's a spin-off of Harley Quinn, the animated series, and that's called Kite Man Hell Yeah. And this show also could have brought in two new characters outside, and that would have been that of Kite Man and Golden Glider, the two main characters of this show. Once again, both of these are goofy characters. It's a funny show. If you actually haven't heard of it, you should actually go out and give it a try and check it out on Max. It's real funny, really entertaining. So again, here go two more characters from a more recent and relevant show that's showing right now that has fans that you could have used to bring people in. And this is probably the most egregious, and not even just egregious, but the craziest thing ever. Season 5 is here, and you know what show recently just dropped that you are putting in part of your new movie cinematic universe? It's called Creature Commandos, right? Show just came out, just finished its first season, and it was actually really good. Again, we have Dr. Phosphorus and of course the Bride, two of the main characters of the series, who you could have added to this game. A series that is relevant, that has fans, that has people talking about it, have people getting ready for the DC movies to come back out. But no, we want to go get Aquaman and Lola Bunny. For what? Who asked for this? It's like we all just is the developers just sitting in a room and coming up with characters that are from their childhood? Like how? And then here goes some other things. You want two other people that aren't from relevant shows that could have been added already? How about Dexter's Laboratory? He has a whole map in the game with no representation. It's crazy. You could add Dexter. How about Scooby-Doo? We got Velma and Shaggy in a haunted mansion, but no Scooby-Doo. He the dang main character of the property. But instead, you want to give us Aquaman and Lola Bunny, man. Hopefully, they change this up and we get something a lot more relevant and a lot better, man. But down in them comments, man, let me know. Once again, you hit that record button and get on here and just be yelling in front of the mic about a whole bunch of nonsense. Or once again, you hit that record button and you speaking facts, brother. Or just let me know your own personal thoughts and gripes down in these comments, man. But this has been another one of them commentary videos, and I hope y'all enjoyed that, man. But as always, please like, comment, subscribe, follow, share, become a supporter, and catch me streaming on Facebook Gaming and Twitch at DatBoyETV. Now, leave y'all off the rest of this gameplay, baby. I'm out. Peace.
Hope the professor didn't see that. Ooh. give up.